And a new documentary about South Africa's rhino poaching scourge is winning international acclaim. It's called Stroop, Journey into the Rhino Horn War, and it's just been awarded the Green Tenacity Award at the San Francisco Green Film Festival. The filmmakers spending 4 years making the documentary and traveled undercover to places like China and Vietnam to track traffickers of rhino horn.
I just opened the door, and then that's when I saw these 5 guys holding the girls. I saw the big axe. I knew they didn't come for us. I knew it was for the rhino.
The Kruger National Park is home to the largest population of rhinos on the planet, and they are being poached here.
An epidemic of slaughter. And at this rate, the rhino is doomed.
And on the ground, the situation resembles war.
It is such a problem, and attention is now being turned onto this particular issue. Joining us on ENCA now, one of the producers and presenter, Bonné de Bod. Good afternoon to you and welcome. 4 years in the making. What did you set out to achieve?
You know, Jeremy, we thought it's going to be a 6-month project, but 4 years later we have the final product. And we realized, myself and the director, Susan Scott, realized just how complex this rhino poaching crisis is. You know, and we made the film so that no one can say they didn't know. Jeremy, we are losing 3 rhinos a day, 1 every 8 hours. It's a relentless war, slaughter of our rhinos. It is our heritage, and it is desperately at stake. And we set out, I don't want to look 10 years from now back at this time, and maybe this was the turning point, and we would have either saved the species in the wild from extinction or failed miserably.
When you say the problem is a complex one, in what respect?
Well, you know, it starts with an ancient mindset of millions and millions of people, thousands of kilometers across the ocean, who really believe that rhino horn can cure disease and uplift status. Here on the ground, in South Africa, it starts with poverty. Many of the poachers come from the communities adjacent to our national parks. That brings about very difficult scenarios in the Kruger National Park. We have Kruger bordering Mozambique, so you have Mozambicans coming in, trespassing into our park. That brings about very sensitive diplomatic issues. And then corruption has infiltrated throughout the system.
Let's talk about the web or the network, if we can. You gained access, I understand, to the back rooms of the traffickers. You were in Vietnam, you were in Laos. Who are they, and what did you find?
You know, we had to sort of go in undercover. We had to do everything illegally to capture the illegal side of things. We actually did apply for a filming permit back in 2015, but we're still waiting for it. What we found was massive demand for rhino horn. I was pretty shocked to see it. And quite honestly, people told me on camera that if they had the wealth to get it, they would. So the powerful and magical properties that they give it, it's quite something to see in film.
Is there any notion among those who want it as to the hideous process that is undergone in order to procure it?
Absolutely not. I actually showed pictures of hacked out rhinos, hacked out faces, a very famous rhino that survived a brutal poaching hope. I showed the picture to these people on the streets of Hanoi. There's absolutely no connection to the natural world.
And when
it's a commodity.
And when you explain that to people, were they unmoved?
Unmoved, no emotion. They don't see that connection. For them, it's a commodity. And rhino horn is the most valuable commodity on Earth today. It's more valuable than gold or platinum. So the demand is massive.
On the flip side of this, you also spoke to the special ranger units, I think operating principally in Kruger, but in other parks as well. One gets the sense, though, that as hard as they try, they are massively underfunded and under-resourced, and this is a daily battle. In spite of their best efforts that they're losing.
It is a daily battle. We look at a place like the Kruger National Park, the place with the most rhinos in the world. So you have 12 to 15 gangs of poachers infiltrating the park and active every single day at any given point. You have rangers deployed 24/7. You have technology helping out. But it's a relentless onslaught. and it is not stopping.
What do we know about the poachers? How sophisticated is the operation in this country? Are there people or a person?
So it's a very complex issue, and it's a crime, and that's how we have to deal with it. It's not a conservation problem, it's a criminal problem.
Do police understand that?
I think they do in a way, but there's so much more that needs to be done. Look, a lot is being done, there's no doubt about it. Is enough being done to save the slaughter of this species in the wild? And that is why the Department of Environmental Affairs can't alone handle the poaching problem. When we attend a press briefing, the journalists, you will have the Minister of Police, Minister of Justice, Minister of State Security, the Hawks and so forth. So it really is a complex problem, and it needs departments from various sides to tackle the problem.
How much time have we got left?
Not a lot. Time is running out, and that is exactly why we made this film. Global awareness is vital, and like I said, I don't want to look back 10 years from now, and the only place where your children's children can appreciate a rhino is in a zoo, on a 10-word note in a colouring book. The time to act is now. Us, the South Africans, have to stand up and say enough is enough.
And mercifully, the documentary is gaining some traction at international festivals, and well done to you for that.
Thank you very much. It's amazing the fact that Stroop Journey into the Rhino Horn War was selected to world premiere in San Francisco. It's one of the largest film festivals focusing on issues relating to the natural world. And then on top of that, the award, it's just incredible. And I really just hope that the recognition will bring about more global awareness, because I don't really think many people are aware, and definitely not aware of the extent and the brutality that goes with it.
In the 4 years that you spent making this documentary, what shocked you the most?
I would say the demand, the absolutely massive demand, and then also the brutality. I've seen many rhino carcasses, and I've attended the scenes of many hundreds of crime scenes, and it never gets easier. To see what humanity is capable of, that shocks you to the core.